Everyone, and welcome to the Geek Battle show here on the Extreme Improv Xstreamed Geek Battle Gaming, and loads of other channels out there. YouTube channels as well as Kick and Twitch and all of these other places. Just follow where you can. Now we have Dave Jervis Green here with us today. So is this your first time on Geek Battle?
Very first time, and I can find there's only one geek here that I'm going to battle with. And what's going on? Where is everyone?
Yeah, there we go. We'll see. Other people usually emerge, but I know at least Dave is the other Dave. We could have had a triple Dave threat, but he's not here. But we'll see if anyone else emerges presently. But as always, let's go to the intro.
Welcome to the Geek Battle Zone. We discuss comics and puny minds are blown. We debate Marvel versus DC, Skeletor, X-Men, and Ron Weasley. Judge David slams down the gavel and cap dreams of Henry Cavill. It's a Geek Battle stream, nerd rage as we assemble our Geek Avengers team. Welcome to the Geek Battle party. We are the Justice League and our Batman is Marty. Say Hitler's a Tim as movies are greenlit. Every new movie, Dev's already seen it. Xbox, Star Wars, and Star Wars Star Riders. He-Man, Star Trek, and David loves spiders. We battle as Morrow, and Disney will blink. And we try to crown the Geek of the Week. It's the Geek Battle Show. Welcome to the Geek Battleground, where we use the Force and the One Ring is found. Cap is wrong about Resident Evil 6. Everyone watch out, cause oh shit, it's Nick. Gerald and Tim and Diz will try to win at the Geek Battle quiz. David and Dave will confuse their crew as they dive in the TARDIS of Doctor Who. Watch out now, we're full of hot takes. Doc Courtney is garbage, but Red Dwarf is great. You love Sega, I love Nintendo, but in the Geek Battle, we are all friendos. Oh, it's a Geek Battle show. Oh, the Geek Battle show. It's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Geek Battle show.
Yes, so welcome to Geek Battle. Now, I do understand that Capelthave is on the way. We'll see who else emerges. Where's the background gone? There, no, not that one. There we go. So, we have entered the Matrix, and yeah, today there's a bunch of stuff going on in the world of geekness, but as always, the conversation will end up going where it goes. Apparently, James Cameron is working on a new Terminator movie. So, are you a fan of
Titanic?
Sorry. Oh, hang on a second. Just 1 second. There's a slight...
James Cameron. I thought you were going to say Titanic. It was our new Titanic movie.
Oh no, it's just one problem because Nick is here.
Hello.
Hello, Nick. How are you doing? Now, we haven't even actually... Well, Nick, you started... Sorry, Dave, I've skipped over you here because we've done Nick's introduction now. So, Nick, say hello to the people.
Hello to the people.
And do you have a random geek trivia fact for us, Nick?
Yes. And I shared this. I shared this one last week, but I think it's good. It's still good.
What? No.
It's good. It's poignant, and Dave J hasn't heard it, so.
I didn't hear your fact of the week last week. No, I haven't heard it. Never.
All right. So my geek trick to the people. As you all know, Disney bought Fox. And Rocky Horror Picture Show is owned by Fox. Therefore, Frankenfurter is a Disney princess, according to... technically Frankenfurter would be a fucking queen.
Well, an evil queen, I guess. Like, because Frankenfurter's a bad guy.
Frankenfurter's a badass, but not as
badass too. Okay, do you know what? As much as I'd love them to do that, the reason I don't think they will is if you remember the movie Enchanted, Disney wouldn't even make Amy Adams as Giselle an official Disney princess when they realised that it has her likeness, and so therefore they'd have to pay her forever.
That doesn't matter. Frankenfurter's a Disney queen.
Okay, all good.
That is my argument, and I'm sticking with it.
You do that, Nick. Now, joining us on
I
Geek
will
Battle.
also do a time warp. God damn it!
Excellent. Now, joining us on Geek Battle for the very first time, Dave Jervis Green. Say hello to the people.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, first time on Geek Battle. Unbelievably so, seeing how long you've been doing the show for alongside all the other extreme stuff. So, yeah, I don't know how much of a geek I am in terms of some of the subjects that come up on here. And when I do watch the show, I'm sometimes going, huh?
What are Dave? So am I promise you. Like, this was one of the things that, especially in the early days of Geek Battle, we'd end up discussing what counts as being a geek. And sometimes it would be people would be like, well, I'm a music geek, and they'll be like, I'm really into, and it would just be, you could be a geek about anything. And I was like, no, guys, Batman, Gandalf, Doc Brown, that's what it means in this definition, generally speaking.
Also, Frankenfurter, Harry Potter.
Well, movies, video games, TV shows. You know, I'm not a comic book guy. You know, some other people are into comic books, but you know, everyone has their different thing. But yeah. So, Dave, do you have a geek trivia fact of the week for us?
I didn't have anything prepared, but I'll go to one I think I had probably said on another show on stream, but a long time ago. It's probably one you already know. As soon as I say the names involved here, you'll probably go, oh, I know where you're going. So back in the 80s when I was a child, I watched a couple of various different things, but my favourite movie all time is Ghostbusters. And obviously, I'm very fond of all the characters in there. I was also, as a child, very very intrigued by this cartoon that suddenly appeared on children's afternoon television called The Real Ghostbusters. I was like, okay, this could be quite interesting. So watching that and hearing the character Pete Venkman being voiced by, I'm sure I've heard that voice before. So I looked at the credit, and it's a guy called Lorenzo Music, who I know also did the voice of Garfield the cat in the animations of them. Fast forward many years. When the Garfield film came out, and who's voicing Garfield but Bill Murray, who played Pete Venkman. Just a very unusual alignment of all the stars there.
Yeah. Okay, so do you know the interesting thing about Bill Murray playing Garfield in that movie?
I do not.
Okay, so Cap, we'll catch up with you in just 1 second. We're just Dave Green just said about the fact that the guy who played Peter Venkman in the Real Ghostbusters cartoon was the same person that voiced Garfield. And then later when they made a Garfield movie, it was played by Bill Murray, who was obviously the original Peter Venkman. So when Bill Murray signed up to do the Garfield movie to voice Garfield, he saw it was directed by the Coen brothers. But they weren't the same Coen brothers as the famous Coen brothers. And that's the only reason he agreed to do it. And now, obviously, Bill Murray is an improviser. He has a very improvisational style. And he had to provide this voice. And so he then went in to do the voice, and they had already shot the movie. And he's like, wait. So Bill Murray was like, I can't read this. And he said, let's see what you've got, and let me work out what I can say around it.
Oh, no.
The thing was, he signed up for a 2-picture deal. So when he came back for the sequel, they did the exact same thing again. And that's why Bill Murray stopped being Garfield.
Although I did enjoy the second one because John Cleese was doing his thing.
What is his thing?
I do have
being overall eccentric and not a Jim Carrey, but still, eccentric fella doing all that stuff. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Okay, now, Capelthave, say hello to the people.
Hail from the...
Fuck.
Oh, I pressed the wrong one. That wasn't the intro.
That freaked me out. I just looked away from the screen for one moment, and suddenly that came up on my screen.
I mean, Dave, for a while, my name was from the land of bad deep fakes and leopards.
Yeah, well, Capelthave, do you have a geek trivia fact for us?
Actually, I didn't come up with one, but I do have a rare thing that Gavin actually sent me just right now. Is that the leaked set videos of the One Piece Netflix anime live action, and it's really good. Finally, Netflix has actually done something that looks legit. Let me try to get you the link for that. Copy link, and I put it in the chat.
Okay, good. Now we haven't met Dave's cat. Who have we got here with us, Dave?
It's Harry making his return to the stream screen.
Harry!
Oh. First one on time.
Okay, so yeah, I'll catch up with that in a second. Now, the thing before you guys just arrived that I was on the topic of is James Cameron is writing a new Terminator film, and he's going to, once he's finished off with Avatar, then he's going to be back in the world of the Terminator. One of the things that's interesting about this is...
We will never see it on screen, is what you're telling me?
Maybe. Like, no, I think we will, because the funny thing about the last Terminator film is they really pushed hard in the press that this is James Cameron, he's been working on the story and that. But then 6 months after it came out and it wasn't a big hit, the guy who directed it, whose name I forget, he was just like, I couldn't work with James Cameron. It's like he was trying to control it all and stuff like this. I'm pretty sure this was a version of what happened. But yeah, so James Cameron famously had to sell the rights to the Terminator in order to make it a thing. And
Did Disney buy the rights to the Terminator? Is that what you're going to tell us?
No.
Because I would be okay with that, I guess.
Well, he'd probably want to buy the rights to the Terminator, but he somewhat gave it away in order to be the director of it. So the producer on it, I think, was someone he ended up married to. I forget the person's name. But it was like she was a someone, he was a no one. But he was like, I've written this thing. They were like, yeah, we'll make it as a low budget horror sci-fi film. And they were like, yeah, but you can't direct it. And he was like, I will sell you the rights to it for like $1 if I can be the director. That he wanted to be the director so much. But then it's gone through a nightmare of different rights holders. Cap.
So this might end up being my geek fact, is that when James Cameron actually did the script, they weren't actually going to do the movie until the guy they decided to, before Arnold, they decided on another guy who would play the Terminator, went to their producer's office, smashed in the door, and then acted like the Terminator, and the producers were really frightened of that.
He didn't. Okay, so I've never heard that he smashed in the door. So Lance Hendrickson, who played one of the police officers in the first Terminator, was James Cameron's friend, and during the meeting, or just before the meeting, Lance Hendrickson turned up in a leather jacket, went into the meeting, and just sort of waited there, and everyone was like, "Oh, hello, can we help you?" sort of thing. And then James Cameron came in and was like, this is the vision of the Terminator. He looks like an ordinary man. He blends in, blah, blah, blah. And then, interestingly, he met with Arnold Schwarzenegger, who they wanted him to play Reese. Or I don't like, the story is that he didn't want Arnie to play anything, but they were like, oh, he's done Conan the Barbarian. You've got to go and meet with him. And then they hit it off. But then James Cameron was like, oh, you've got all these ideas about the Terminator. You should play the Terminator. Because they wanted him to play Reese. So
I do have another geek fact that relates to improv.
Great. I love how you've just completely ignored everything I just said, Nick. But sure, go for it.
Sorry, I apologize.
It's all right. Go for it.
So in the movie Clue, which is one of my all-time favorite movies, we all love Clue. The monologue that Elaine Brennan, who plays Mrs. Peacock, the flames coming from the flames monologue, was because Elaine Brennan forgot her line.
Nick, are you like delivering this in Morse code as well? Dash. Right, I cut. Yeah, go on. So she did what?
She forgot her line.
Yeah.
And she was like, quick, I gotta figure out something to say, because the director was just like, kept it rolling while she was panicking, and hence all the repetition, because she was making it up on the spot, which happens to be my favorite monologue in that movie.
So in Terminator 2, guys. No, okay, right, yeah, no, that's a fun fact. I did not know that about that Cap.
Do check out the cast of One Piece.
Oh,
of Life.
Jesus, forget my stupid topic about Terminator then. No one gives a shit. To quote the late, great Jimmy Mack,
It's from
and
the
nobody
90s.
cared
People
but
don't
me.
care.
Nobody cared but me. Fine. Right, that was the main topic I'd got for today. So, Dave,
I
what have you
cared,
got?
David. I was listening. I was
Okay,
listening.
right,
I have nothing to
right.
contribute to it, but I was listening.
Okay, Dave,
We're
Dave.
Gen Z, we care about
Well, hang on,
One
look,
Z.
guys. I think we need to appreciate that we have Dave Green here, which
Yes.
like we should not make the
I
best
even
use of
put
him
on
before
a
he
shirt
runs away.
instead of appearing as an anime character just because Dave Green showed up.
Well,
I'm not here to dilute your enthusiasm for anime. I have nothing. I don't know anime very much at all. I've not even seen the Rick and Morty anime series, so I don't know much
Oh
about
my
it.
god, Rick and
wait,
Morty
hang
is
on,
so
Dave.
cool.
Are you here just as some kind of alibi? What's going on?
I'm just here to look good and enjoy.
Okay. No, Dave.
the
Genuine question for you, right? So, what is let's find out because I don't think we've ever found out where you lie in the world of geekness. So, what's your favorite movie? Doesn't have to be specifically geeky, but anything.
No, my favorite movie is Ghostbusters. That was genuinely my favorite movie.
Okay, good. Well, you're welcome in the club then.
So I like a few sci-fi things. I just never really got massively into like everything comic book wise. As you know, for a different show, I am a huge wrestling geek, so that's the geek area I went down.
No, that doesn't count as geek. We already established this.
I was not.
I mean, so
But
technically, a geek is anyone who focuses on any area of like pop culture, literature, whatever.
Yeah.
Wrestling, unfortunately, I hate to say this, is pop culture.
Okay, that's fair enough.
So
That's fair enough.
you can be a wrestling geek.
Yeah.
No, but
Oh.
within the confines of this show, guys.
The show, yeah.
Like, I don't mind when we get
the show.
I don't mind when we get an occasional space fact, but this isn't like specifically. We're not trying to be like science geek here.
Yeah.
But
My wife had to
if Dave hasn't seen any sort of anime, one thing I would recommend to Dave is Fearin' Beyond Journey's End. That's a good start for you to start anime.
Dave, run.
But if you prefer, that's not a more actiony anime. It's more of a soulful piece of life kind of anime.
Yeah.
That's why I recommended that. But if you want more action, like very fast-paced, action-oriented anime,
Fist of the North Star.
Demon Slayer, it's a better choice.
I
Okay.
would say Fist of the North Star, but that's just me.
I don't know if it'll mean anything to anybody. The only anime I'm sort of vaguely familiar with, thanks to my best friend Neil, who I grew up as from child age onwards. He was very into comic books, anime, all that sort of stuff, and he really wanted to get me into Tank Police. I don't know if anyone that rings a bell with anybody, but that was a old sort of series. I don't know if it's a series or a anime film, but that's my one anime sort of thing I'm vaguely familiar with, but in terms of just distant memory. But I actually did have a subject I wanted to broach with you guys, actually, and it's I don't know if you guys talked about it last week or not, if I missed it, but there was a thing over here about 2 weeks ago where Doug Naylor revealed that he was told to stop production and writing of the new Red Dwarf special because the UK TV didn't want to put any money into scripted comedy anymore over here for their channel, which begs two questions. One, is that a sign of a bad thing to come when it comes to scripted comedy? And
Yes.
two, is there a chance that this could be picked up by another channel? I think that's what Doug Naylor said, is that this idea could be picked up by another channel. But I don't know if it was a case of just being really, really over budget, because I don't know if anyone's seen the idea of what the story was going to be about it, but apparently it was going to be the character of Lister meeting his younger self and breaking him out of stasis, which was the whole initial start, as we know, of the initial episode of him being put into stasis and obviously finding everyone's dead, and then
Everyone's
and
dead,
that would
Dave.
yeah, exactly, everybody's dead, Dave's thing. So I don't know if anyone
Something just came
thought
up.
that was a bad idea or what, but
Yeah. Oh, well, Nick just had to
just
bounce. He's just said something's come up. He may be back. We'll see. But yeah, so like I know Nick isn't really into Red Dwarf anyway. Cap, I know it's your
Bring
favorite
back
topic.
Jimmy back for Red Dwarf.
Well, for so many reasons, that's the least of which. But
Yeah.
Dave Green, since the passing of Jimmy Mack, this is the first time Red Dwarf has come up with more than one person knowing what it actually is
Okay.
within the world of extreme improv.
I thought it'd be safe to broach seeing as mentioned in the theme tune.
Well, yeah, that's all from me. I'm just trying to promote it. But yeah, so that's crazy. Like, Red Dwarf has been caught up in legal stuff just because there was two creators, Doug Naylor, Rob Grant, and they fell out like in the 1990s. And about 2 years ago, there was a thing about they've resolved the rights and there's going to be different projects. One of which was that they were going to do this new special, and they haven't done one since 2020. And yeah, apparently it's on ice. Now, I don't know. Red Dwarf is a weird one where you'd have thought it was a slam dunk that it's got a big and loyal fan base, but until like UK TV or UK Gold or whatever it was when they first started making season 10, 11.
Dave, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, or Dave. Yeah, there you go. Basically, like
It was my fault.
you couldn't get like BBC, and they tried to make a movie and they couldn't get anyone to finance it, even though it seemed really obvious as something that would be popular and do well. So I hope they make like more, but at the same time, if they never made any more, it's a shame because the story, Cap, if you don't know the story, Red Dwarf is set on a spaceship and someone is found to have broken a rule and they're put into basically a prison, but this kind of prison basically means that they're frozen in time, so that way they don't have to pay them and stuff, and then they kick them out at the end of the trip. And when he comes out of the trip, 3 million years have passed, and there was a big disaster on the ship, and so now he's the last human being alive. There is a hologram of someone that he knew, and the thing that he'd done to break the rules is he'd brought a cat onto board, which was pregnant, and then it has had babies, which have inbred and evolved into a humanoid-like creature. It's a really good comedy show. But this story, yeah, it's great. I love Red Dwarf, but this,
Did Dave's cat write it? I feel like something that he would.
Oh no, that wasn't the that wasn't the
it's
cat
not
from
the
the show.
but yeah. So this new story was going to do like cast a young version of the characters, and the one thing I worry about that is why now are they like trying to be like, we'll have a new cast that will take over and get their own spin-off show.
I didn't. I read that it was going to be that they were. This was one of the budget sort of things with it. It was going to be like a CGI/AI thing where they youth up Craig Charles.
Oh wow!
So it's him playing both characters.
Oh my god, I'd love to see them do that. Wait, hang on, Dave. You hate AI.
What is the you were talking about AI last week, and I messaged you.
I was going to be like,
no, I think I should clear it up. So I don't like AI when it's in the wrong hands and it's being used to cause confusion and falseness and the dangers it could potentially have, as well as these assholes who are put. Who, I don't know if you saw the story months ago about this lady who's trying to sue this Swedish company for using her voice on an AI system when she just went in to do like a regular session and she wasn't told it was going to be like this. That's stuff that worries me as someone who wants to be a voice over artist and all that sort of stuff. That's the sort of thing that worries me when it comes to AI. If it's used to enhance stuff that needs enhancing, so like old footage and things like that, or it's going to be used to clarify old recordings of things, like that Beatles song that was recently. When I watched that documentary and when it was just like, we just used a bit of AI to clear up John Lennon's vocals, and it just comes through crystal clear. You're like, okay, that's actually incredible. So for that sort of thing, I think as long as it's used correctly and it's used for certain things, it's fine. But
or by
generally,
me, we can't afford an artist, so I generate images from it.
This is the perfect segue, guys. I can't believe this. James Cameron's working on a new Terminator film where the big theme of it, the thing that interests him. Okay, but the thing that interests him and the thing that slightly worries me about it is that obviously Terminator has always been an AI went rogue. It then decided humans were the thing to attack. And what I worry about this is that they that they're going to take the Terminators out the Terminators, and it's just going to be about like AI systems changing the world. I think the idea is that he's got a completely fresh take on what he wants to say about the future and technology and the risks to mankind. Because the quote, I don't know, I saw it a day or two ago. I don't think I could find the quote. The only thing I could spot was like a headline about it, but you couldn't click on it. Was just something where he said that. Okay, so let's just quickly bring it up here. He says, "I've been unable to get started on that very far because I don't know what to say that won't be overtaken by real events. We're living in science fiction age right now." So yeah, like what they're doing with AI, you think like I'm going to set off people's things, but when you have an Alexa and when you have like Siri and all these other things, that is kind of what AI, what Terminator was warning us about. That slowly we're This is the whole theory that James Cameron is a time traveler.
I would say it's not exactly like the doom and gloom universe that are sci-fi. I mean, I think what we are facing right now is more in a sense of like bureaucratic surveillance type of shit that we're going to be facing more than, you know, outright dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. That kind of stuff. I'm not really sure that's going to happen anytime soon. And I think currently AI is kind of hit of a stagnated. With like a lot of companies investing in it, but so far their progress has been very slow. After ChatGPT 5 came out, and it's not even better.
Their progress has been astronomically fast.
No, with ChatGPT 5, they've actually hit a benchmark where it's not as better as ChatGPT 4, and it didn't really branch out that much. And large language models in general is not really capable of crossing that benchmark. But it doesn't mean that AI research altogether is dumped in the bin. What the thing is, like, you know, the widespread of AI where all the companies are trying to use AI to integrate system and things, that's gonna be not very ideal because the language models can't really press forward after a while. But there are more other research where AI actually corrects itself and things like that, more general intelligence towards that. That is kind of in the future, but only like the big companies, like, you know, the OpenAI company and Microsoft and all the big companies are going to be the ones who are able to do that.
Well,
but all the small progress from the small companies.
But it's not even that. It's not even that. So it's like, how do we go from the leap of having like computers that you can speak to and have an answer and have a conversation with you, to them actually making robots? But the thing is, we've got so many devices. And they're literally, like last year, they were showing off all the progress they're making with walking robots. Have you seen those videos of robots playing football? And
yeah.
And it's like, all they need to do... You've seen the movie I, Robot. Have you seen I, Robot, Dave, with Will Smith?
Oh, God, not for a long time.
Well, but the point is... So at first, all it needs to be is like... Just like we have these Roombas that are going around as the vacuum cleaners. All it needs is that something's like, well, we're just going to use these at first... just to trip people over, they're going to be targeted at it. And it's like, oh, well, we just tripped on the Roomba. Oh, that's becoming a little bit of an epidemic. And before we know it, then the self-driving cars and all of this will just be targeting people. I'm telling you, this is where it begins, guys. But that is what I think the plot of a new Terminator film is going to be. And it worries me just because... Did either of you see the movie Wrong Turn?
No.
Oh, my God. It was a horror film.
Is it the one that they take a wrong turn to a castle and they're besieged by a weird...
So it was Eliza Dushku who was in... she was in True Lies. She played Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter, but she was also... She was Faith in Buffy and Angel and that kind of stuff, right? I think Faith was the character's name. But it's a film where she's driving down a road... Or no, sorry, a different guy is driving down a road. He gets distracted and he crashes into a car. And he's driven down because he's taking a shortcut. And then the people he's bumped into, there's a few of them, they're strangers, but now both of their cars are somewhat out of commission. And before you know it, they suddenly discover that wherever they are in the United States, there's like mountain men, cannibals and stuff in the area. And they're all kind of like mutated, very Hills Have Eyes kind of thing. And it was actually quite a good film. It was a good film, like a survival film, how they're hiding in the woods and that they, you know, how they're trying to overcome these mountain men, as it were. And then they made lots of direct-to-video sequels that all sucked. As far as I think I only watched the second. I might have seen a bit of the third, and I was just like, these are trash, cash-in follow-ups. But then about 5 years ago, the same person that made the original was like, I'm making a reboot. And instead it was about, like, a cult of people who are, like political and satanic.
Is that the one
it might be. I don't know.
Is that the one I saw? Is that the one I saw with the castle and everything?
Oh, I can't remember. I mean, it's not impossible. It could be, but it was still in the woods. But instead of it being mountain men, it was just sort of like some weird, Illuminati cult sort of ritual thing like this, and it was just a completely different concept with the same name from the original director, who was like, this is how I would interpret it now, kind of thing. And I worry that that's what James Cameron's going to be doing, where it's like, there's no Arnie, there's no skeletons, metal skeletons walking around. It's just going to be how AI makes us turn on each other or something like this. Some weird thing. But anyway, enough about the Terminator.
Check out the live action leak.
The live act. What's that mean?
I put it in the chat.
Oh my gosh! Right, let's just check this thing in the chat. Live.
They finally cast people who look like anime characters, or at least just did makeup on them that make them look like anime characters.
Okay, is this a video?
Yes, it's leaked footage of the One Piece.
Okay, I've been getting into a lot of trouble on YouTube with leaked with footage. Hang on.
I hope
just before I click on this too far. Okay, there's nothing. Okay.
No.
I was a bit worried from this first image here. Right, so I don't know
it's
who
an
this is meant
anime,
to be.
Dave.
It's an anime.
It's a character from the anime.
And she looks like the anime.
Yeah! And look at that dude. Now that dude, how Leon Kennedy should look like, except without the mustache and the cigarette and all that.
Are you sure this isn't just a cosplay festival?
It looks like a cosplay festival.
It's a live action shoot, actually, leaked images.
Right.
And
he does not look like a real human being.
They do look like cosplayers.
But his eye looks fake.
Just Google One Piece characters and you'll see. I mean, even season 1 was like, it is. Now it has a good,
hang on, look. What do you mean? How is this a real person? This is CGI, isn't it?
Well, that's an animatronic.
Is it animatronic? Yeah. That's CGI.
Oh, no, that's CGI. It's got to be CGI, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think this is all CGI. Well, it might not be, but...
If you Google the cast... I think... Wait, is that the same actor? Is that the same actor? I'm not sure, because we've seen Luffy in season 1, and he doesn't look like Luffy, at least from the distance.
Well, I'm thinking as the camera crew filming the CGI character, I think it might not be real. I'm just going to throw it out there.
Yeah.
But David, you can Google like One Piece season 1, and then you can see like if that same kid is same as Luffy, then it is real, and otherwise it's not real. It's that it's an anime festival.
Well, so look, this is, I guess, the live action person from before, right?
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. Right, excellent. Now, good guys. I'm glad we got that out of our system. Phew.
But Dave, do not worry about One Piece, because like One Piece is one of the few animes that even I don't watch, because it's like has 2,000 or 3,000 episodes. It's been going on since the 2000s.
Okay, I remember when I guess this was a year or 2 years ago, when this was about a thing. And I was like, I don't know anything about this. How could I get into it? And we had this conversation where it's like, there are 2,000 episodes. This is the jumping in point. But yeah.
Okay. Jumping in point of a 2,000 episode series.
But Netflix actually nailed this one, because like they tried to do other like Cowboy Bebop. They tried to adapt it, and that was a massive failure. They didn't really do a good adaptation. And they kind of did a lot of stinkers, and then One Piece came out, and everyone was like really surprised how accurate it was to the anime. And then also Airbender has some good rep to it as well, being a good live action adaptation.
Yeah, now I'm just going to bring up the force field, and I think I'm going to have to bring up the full force field, because, well, let's see if I've got a medium force field, in fact. Is this a medium? Nah, it's too gentle. Like,
Wait, are you gonna do One Piece?
no. Right,
Okay.
so this is the new movie Anaconda. Now, if you remember that film from the
Oh,
the 90s, but check this
1985,
out.
was
A film I loved the
just-
concept of, but didn't actually enjoy at all, was a Jack Black movie called Be Kind, Rewind. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and in it he was like remaking Ghostbusters and stuff like this, and he was remaking stuff. Now I don't think this is related to that at all, but it seems a similar idea because this is Jack Black and Paul Rudd. Let me just make sure it is muted. Yeah, it is. So we'll just discuss it with whatever little we can see through the old force field, where I probably won't get copyright claims on it. But the idea is, because I watched it earlier, Jack Black comes in and says, "Hey, we need to remake our favorite movie, Anaconda." And that's a good concept for a movie because no one's favorite movie is Anaconda, obviously. And it shows you that they're gonna have to get a boat, they're gonna have to like get a snake and stuff like this. And it shows that they go to a bank and they ask for a loan of $3 million, and they get told they can get $9,000. And so now they're gonna remake Anaconda on $9,000.
Okay.
And
Can they even get to Brazil, to the Amazon?
look, so they've got the snake, and as they're filming it, something goes wrong. Action. It gets too close to him,
Right.
and boom, and no more snake. And so they're like, "Shit, we're trying to remake Anaconda, and we don't have an anaconda." So they go deeper into the jungle to find an anaconda. And like the other thing, if you remember Jack Black in King Kong, it almost feels like there is a multiverse of Jack Blacks where he's trying to make trying to make films and stuff, filmmaker with like incredibly dangerous
He tried to
animals.
make King Kong. He tried to make King Kong.
Well, it was in the King Kong remake and was trying to find King Kong, wasn't it? That was the
But,
role.
but the idea was that he was a filmmaker trying to shoot a movie,
Yeah.
wasn't he?
Yeah. That remake freaked me out. That scene with the giant insects, I was completely freaked with that.
Yeah.
That was Peter
Yeah.
Jackson's best horror shots.
It was the weird thing about that sequence though is it was in the original film, but it was cut apparently, and so then they remade it
wow.
in the remake. Then
I gotta say, Peter Jackson's for a horror director, he makes good epic fantasy really good. But I have to say, the trailers for those films, I remember the first time I saw Lord of the Rings was in 2010 on the local television on the holiday. When they marketed the trailer when they're going to show the movie on the local TV. And I literally thought it was going to be a horror movie. I didn't even know it's going to be a fantasy epic adventure. And I told my mom when the movie was playing, "Mom, would you sit with me just to see if this is a horror movie or not? If not, then you could go. Otherwise,
yeah. So actually, speaking of like Be Kind, Rewind, and remaking Ghostbusters, and seeing Paul Rudd there and that, Dave, what did you think of the modern Ghostbusters films? What did you even think of Ghostbusters 2?
It was on TV the other week, and my wife and I did actually watch it. And she always said that she was quite upset by the Titanic landing. She said that when she watched that in the cinema the first time, she cried because
When the Titanic comes,
the Titanic arrives. Yeah,
yeah.
it was actually really upsetting for her. But it's obviously it's flawed, but it's still fun. There was obviously some massive flaws in it, like the weird bit where the guy is suddenly a ghost and captures the baby by extending his hand on a while dressed as a nanny. God knows what that was about. But yeah, that whole bit, obviously there's a lot of flaws in that. Maybe it's fine. The all-female remake was okay, and I'm not saying that from any standpoint of what should be men. I was quite up for seeing this remake, and I thought it would be good. I just felt it was a little bit too improv SNL sort of.
Yes,
moment.
It was. That is my problem with it. Yeah.
Yeah, there was one bit where they did one scene, then it suddenly cut to like the next shot of like, and it seemed like they'd skipped an entire scene at one point, and just the way it was handled. But I like the last two. I really enjoyed the last two.
Do you know? I really like Ghostbusters 2. And growing up, I preferred Ghostbusters 2 to Ghostbusters 1. And I think probably it's because it's a bit more of a kid's film than the first one was.
Yeah, it was totally made for kids, for family audience.
Absolutely. But now, as I'm older, I'm like, Ghostbusters 1 is the funnier film. Ghostbusters 2 I've got the nostalgia for and stuff like this. The 2016 reboot, like, all of them were trying to be the funny one, which was the problem. And the characters weren't well defined. And, like, it was like the idea that they were meant to be scientists was missing. Because when you look at not that they have to be clones of the original characters, but you could see that Egon and Ray were absolutely... Well, Egon was absolutely sciencey and a bit weird in his way. Ray was perhaps a bit more into occult and stuff like this. And then the lazy sort of one was Venkman, and then you got Winston, who was like the everyman, who sort of like, so they could say, oh, this is what we're trying to do, and he'd react like we're reacting. When they did the reboot, everyone was trying to be Bill Murray in it. Like, was my opinion. Everyone was trying to be just like funny, and no one was particularly likable. And Chris Hemsworth, everyone went crazy for him in it, and I was like, his character wasn't even that funny in it either.
Very annoying.
Annoying. That's exactly right.
Really annoying.
And then the cameos from the original cast in it, like they killed Bill Murray, spoiler, right? And it's like, now he should be a ghost, right? You've just, nothing here makes enough sense. But anyway, the more recent ones.
I was surprised by how the 2016 remake caused a lot of controversy, because the last thing I expected that Ghostbusters would be a controversial issue, because like I remember some of the first movie. I saw the second film on TV, and the 2016 came out. I was like, okay, and I watched it, and I treated it. Okay,
it was
Ghostbusters.
It was a controversial film for the wrong reason. So, they made a big deal out of it being an all-female cast, and that upset a certain section of the audience. But then Sony or whoever made it didn't help, because the trailer...
That certain section being the sexists among
But the other thing is that they didn't help themselves. Well, not the filmmakers, Sony or whoever released it, because the trailer for it was, in 1984... 4 scientists saved New York. 30 years, and it's like, no. This is not a sequel. It's a, So people went in there and they were like, this has got nothing to do with bait and another bait and switch. Then the new ones, I quite liked the first one, but the second one, the more recent one, I've completely blocked it from my mind. So I can't comment on it.
The second one, I think my wife we sort of both enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than she did, but she said she thought it was very Stranger Things in terms of like the demon they were trying to beat and all that sort of stuff. Straight out that sort of universe, that sort of animation.
That was kind of the whole point, though. So they literally have one of the kids from Stranger Things in it.
Oh, do they? Okay, I don't really know Stranger Things.
Oh, Stranger Things is worth watching. But
is she the one who plays Spengler's granddaughter?
No, it's not actually. So it's like the brother.
So, him, sorry.
Yeah. So he was in Stranger Things. But
I thought he said
the weird chain of events there is Stranger Things was inspired somewhat by Goonies and just 80s stuff, Ghostbusters to a degree, but absolutely the core group of kids was Goonies. Then when they came back to Ghostbusters, they were like, we're going to make this somewhat Stranger Things, which was Goonies. And so it's just all a very incestuous circle there, basically.
I think it was just that sort of thing was that even with Zool, it was still with the original, it was like that, and even with that character coming back in the first remake, it was that there was still sort of like a cartoonish aspect to that sort of character and that bits and pieces. Whereas this demon in the last one was that Stranger Things sort of horrifying sort of thing, especially when earlier on they'd had that quite cute ghost that was chomping through things, all that sort of stuff. I might be mixing up the two movies. I'm not sure, but there was
sort of they definitely had the Muncher one in Afterlife or whatever it was called.
Is that the most recent one, or is that
that was the previous one? I think what was it? It was called Frozen Empire or something. But yeah.
I'm getting mixed up.
I mean, I miss monsters like Zool because they were so memeable. Zool, motherfucker, Zool.
Well, no, they brought back Zool in Afterlife.
Afterlife, yeah.
Yeah. The thing I didn't like about Afterlife, and this is why I need to watch the more recent one again, because I have literally forgotten I've seen it like a year ago. I've completely forgotten it. I've got in my memory that the original Ghostbusters are in it more. But what I didn't like in Afterlife is that when Venkman, Winston, and Stans turn up, there's just like right at the very end, and they then weirdly had Sigourney Weaver for a post-credit scene. And it was like, why was one of Bill Murray's 2 scenes a post-credit scene? Why is Sigourney Weaver only in a post-credit scene? And then they had a second post-credit scene with Winston where he's like, I'm going to buy and restart because I'm successful now. And a big problem so many films have is that they'll do some other thing which isn't quite, it might be all right, but it isn't quite what people want. And then at the end, they'll be like, but next time we'll give you what you want. And it's like so many films now, so expensive to make these movies that so often they don't get to deliver because it's like, well, if you'd done what we'd wanted the first time, instead of just trying to think, well, I'll give you something else, something a bit experimental, but we'll promise next time we'll give you what you want. It's like, well, if you'd given us what we wanted the first time, then it would have done well enough at the box office that you could have then made the second one. But because I don't think the most recent Ghostbusters film did that well. I'll check out what it did.
It's got a similar sort of thing with the originals that sort of come back towards the end as well, as in their outfits as well. But as you say, they are more in there. I'll tell you what, the biggest shock of the most recent Ghostbusters was James Acaster. He was just popped up as an actor in the film. I'm like, how the hell did you get this role on here?
Who's that?
That was amazing. James Acaster, like the British stand-up comedian. James Acaster was in that movie as like one of the scientists. He's the one who gets his arm injured by the power source in that they're trying to contain in the thing.
Oh,
okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing in there?
I recognise him, and again, I'd recognise him probably from panel shows and stuff.
Yeah.
But this is who you're talking. So
Hey,
I literally don't remember that he's there. I did not remember. Dev, say hello to the people.
Hello to the people.
Excellent. Do you have a geek trivia fact for us?
Geek trivia fact is the 2017 Fantastic Four. The actor that played Doctor Doom was a Guy Ritchie mainstay actor, where he played the junkie in Rock and Roller.
I haven't seen Rock and Roller.
No, I don't know Rock and Roller.
Rock and Roller is really star-studded because it has Leonidas, Bane, and Knuckles from the Sonic movie.
Okay. Well, good. Thank you for clarifying those very famous actors with their geek roles.
Gerard Butler,
Idris Elba, Jared Butler, and who else?
Idris
Tom
Elba.
Hardy.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy.
Who else?
Hey, I've got a slightly close to home fact for the Sonic movies.
Yeah, go for it.
The live actors on set have to work when they're talking to the various characters like Sonic and Knuckles and Tails and all that sort of stuff. They're on the actual set. They have to work with puppets, and the puppeteer for Tails in at least the second and third Sonic movies is Xstreamed Improv alumni Katie Tranter.
No way! I did not know that. So she is the puppeteer of Tails.
She basically played Tails on set with Jim Carrey.
That's really cool. That is really cool. I did not know that. We'll have to get her on the show as well. Tell us all about it.
Dev would lose his mind.
Okay, so where were we up to? Oh yeah, so Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. It cost 100 million to make. Its box office is 202 million, which means it made no money basically. So unfortunate.
Hey, hang on.
I mean, to be fair,
It cost 100 million to make, and it made 202 million.
Yeah.
I think it did well.
No, because that's the production budget. It's not marketing. So the general rule, you never find out what the marketing budget for any project is, but they always announce the production budget. And so the general rule for these big movies is that the marketing budget is equal to the production budget, and so that means that it broke even, if that. Like, but this is where I always think that these studios and things are short-sighted, because they could look back and think, oh well, Ghostbusters was a big deal in 1984, I think, and then the sequel in 1989. And for the next 20 years, people were like, "Oh, give us a Ghostbusters film." And so eventually they did, and then they could be like, "Huh, that didn't do as well as we'd expect." And it's maybe that Ghostbusters isn't something, and then it's like, oh, 5 years later they try again. Maybe the first one did all right, and the second one didn't do so well. But what I think they always miss is that they always want something to get a huge amount of money straight away. But it's like, yeah, but if Ghostbusters consistently can make you money for decades, then it's a different kind of thing. And it's like how we've said...
And it can stay relevant. And it can stay relevant, because I will tell you, like, Ghostbusters is not relevant to my generation at all.
Wow, okay. But like how we've said about things like Doctor Who, it's like every time they put it on hiatus, it's like, well, you do realise that it's got a fan base which have kept it going through huge absences across 60 years. So even if it doesn't do huge ratings now, these episodes will be able to continue to be monetized forever. So they may as well keep making them.
Also, it's quite unfair in the grand scale of things. I'm not saying this directly to you, but I'm just saying, obviously, the cinema nowadays is such a different experience to what it was then. So, Ghostbusters originals and the two original ones would have made tons of the box office. But now you can see something on a streaming site like a month after it's been out in the cinema, so people generally tend to wait for that anyway. The cost of a cinema these days is much bigger than it was back then. So it's whenever we sort of hear that, like, oh, what a movie made, it's sort of
relevancy
based a lot of that on that.
Yeah,
sorry,
relevancy is also quite hard because we have so much content now. So if it's not in your memory, it can easily fade away. And you're like, oh, is that thing back? I'm too focused on this thing right now. And again, people don't have a lot of time to focus on certain things. So you gotta stay in their field, otherwise you just lose it.
Yeah. Do you know, like, one of the interesting things that, like, will only get more tricky for all of these film studios and any content, like, it's the same with video games, it's the same with comics or any of these things, I guess, is that when you go back in time to, say, the 80s, where there's such nostalgia for the 80s, but I don't think 10 years ago there was the same nostalgia for the 70s. I think kind of what has happened is that the 80s was really where you, like, from the very end of the 70s, you suddenly got Star Wars, you suddenly got Superman, the movies, and the technology allowed them to make these things which, even though they look dated, they do hold up to a degree. And they hold up in a way that things from the 70s don't. The storytelling suddenly became a lot more about, oh, you've got to make a tie-in toy line and stuff like this. And so the things that were created in the 80s have lasted a lot longer. So people growing up in the 80s and 90s, they might have, say you grew up in the 90s or even early noughties, you might have been like, well, I can still watch things that exist that were made in the 80s, and some of them seem all right and whatever. But now, like, kids today, they can watch things that were made in the 80s that still hold up. Because if they're making new Star Wars, they have to keep old Star Wars somewhat relevant. The 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s. And it's just like, at a certain point, you could say there is enough old stuff to watch where you could just keep recycling it and you never need to actually ever make anything new again. But in the 90s, if you say that the beginning of this era was the 80s, and obviously stuff existed before, but if you say the beginning of this era of that kind of content was the 80s, you only had the 80s, and some of it was good, and some of it was bad, so you don't want to replay that. So you're like, well, from the 80s, you've only got, you know, a couple of dozen really great things. But then if the 90s gave you a couple of dozen great things, and the hang on, Cap, and the noughties do, I know you're trying to say, but let me just finish my point. But it's just like, at a certain point, none of the, you won't need new stuff, because it's like, well, you've got all of the comic books that existed from the 30s onwards of Superman, so why do you actually need to make new ones? Of course they're going to, but you kind of don't need to because there is more than anyone could now read in their lifetime. Cap.
Okay, so the thing is, people don't watch much old stuff anymore because there are no reruns. That was the thing in the past of the television era, where I was a kid growing up in the 2000s, were able to watch way older stuff that would not have been able to do for today's kids, because today's kids get updated. There's no Saturday morning cartoon shows where the new episodes are being filmed, so they put up reruns of the old shows. That's not a thing anymore. So either they have new content or they just make garbage new content to push it to watch to you. And the other thing, I think TV and movies in general kind of faded out of the cultural relevancy because recently YouTube has become the number one streaming platform that people used to watch on TV now. They stream YouTube on TV. And the other stuff that they mostly care about is video games. And these two are being the two juggernauts right now, is that the relevancy of the media is kind of fading away. But even the thing that you brought up, Dave, is that I always think this like, so the early 90s where the 80s hasn't died yet. and the 2000s where the 90s hasn't died yet. And they just kept kind of rehashing the same things. They just incorporated new technologies into the stories. Yeah. But I would say 2000 probably 15 or probably like 16 onwards, they kind of really didn't do any rehash, or they kind of didn't move the story plot line. They kind of started doing different kind of things they tried to flare out, but it wasn't really that good, and it didn't really catch on. And they didn't really pivot back to what they were doing like in the 2010s. They kind of pivoted back to, let's go back to the 80s. We're panicking. We need to bring out all the old stuff. Put in the jock. Put in the weird kid. We need those same stories back. And that's how like Stranger Things happened. A lot of the shows started like, hey, this is something that I feel like I watched in the old times. But even still, I think it's still going to lose relevance because you can still apply those tropes in the modern day era, but I think modern day era is such a difficult thing to people to actually do right now. And even when they do it, they can't make the kids sound other than social media douchebags. New Goosebumps, for example, where the kids were, none of them were interesting or fascinating to me.
I mean, there's tons of problems like that. Like, so it's interesting you say about that you don't get reruns and stuff because there's always new content. So that is a problem, and I think one of the reasons for it. So I think what happens is that we now have more than ever that we had in the past, and so because there's infinite choice, nothing particularly is that successful. Now, individually, people might be like, "Oh, I've watched this thing and it's really great," the same as someone in the 80s or 90s would have. But in the 80s or 90s, you know, there was 3 channels in the UK, so everyone was watching one of 3 things. And something would get like 80% of the television audience were watching this. So everyone has the same knowledge. Everyone's excited about the same things. Whereas, so obviously you've got social media. So if you watch a show or whatever, you might then spend the rest of your energy in a day that you've got for consuming television or anything like this just on TikTok. And so whereas you say there's always new stuff being made, it's like, well, if I'm making this on this channel and you're making that on your channel and you've got your channel and you've got your show and your TikTok and this, like, whatever. It's just like, well, if it was the 1990s, we'd be like, what's on BBC One tonight? And that would be it, right? It'd be like, oh, no, but on ITV, and there'd be this one other alternative. And then that would be the choice. And we wouldn't have the users generating content ourselves. But if you put all of the user-generated and social media stuff to the side, there is still one other factor in it, or there's probably several, but this other big factor I'd like to bring up. Have any of you seen the movie Scanners? Scanners. Oh, do you know what? It's a good film. You've definitely on the intro to this show where the bit where there's a guy whose head explodes, which I had to like alter it to make it look like a cartoon and change the blood to green, otherwise I couldn't use it. Yeah.
I think I've seen the clip of that, not on your thing, but I think I've seen.
Okay, yeah. So that is from the movie Scanners, where people have got telekinesis and someone uses it and then someone's head explodes. right? It's quite near the beginning of the film. It's not the biggest spoiler. But the thing I was going to point out about it is I only saw that film for the first time within the last 4 or 5 years. And when I looked up about it, I'll show you the poster of it here. It says, there are 4 billion people on Earth. 237 are scanners. They have the most terrifying powers ever created, and they are winning. That's the tagline. But the thing I hooked onto is this came out, I believe, in 1983. There are 4 billion people on Earth. Whereas when I looked up just now, the current population is 8.25 billion. So in just over 40 years, they've over doubled the population of Earth, right? And so in terms of, you say about Saturday morning cartoons and they had to rely on reruns in the past, right? So say the 4 of us, we're like, okay, we're going to produce a movie or we're going to produce a cartoon or something. We might say, okay, so it takes this long to produce a 15-minute episode of this cartoon, and in 1 year, between the 4 of us, we can produce 8 episodes. Go us. And it's like, well, now there's twice as many people on Earth. And so now there's at least twice as many shows just because there's twice as many people to work on shows. And that isn't even taking into consideration that back then, people were drawing this crap by hands. But now there's just like CGI, use this one character in every episode. And the animation, when you look from like the 1980s, He-Man and Thundercats, to what they do nowadays, where it's just like flat things that have got no personality, just so it's easy to animate
Teen
them.
Titans Go, David. Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, exactly. Like Teen Titans Go is an example of bad animation, bad art style, but is cheap and easy to produce. And so
That's
they've now
the
got,
thing that started it all.
and then like the last aspect on it of, again, coming back to like computers and that, well, AI is one thing, but just like computing power. So it used to be like if you wanted to play Street Fighter on the ZX Spectrum, you would wait 15 to 20 minutes for it to load in between each round. Whereas now everything loads instantly. And so it just means that if I wanted to play Street Fighter, that was like a 3-day commitment in 1992 on the ZX Spectrum. Whereas now it's like 15 minutes later, you're like, now I need something else to do. And so there's just all like forever this infinite choice, and there is more. And so whereas everyone in the past may have all watched the same thing, now everyone is spread out or like equally watching 1,000 different things that exist.
And trapped in different niches. Because like right now, I would watch something and I would say, okay, if I liked it, I would say, I want more in the feel of this. And I would easily Google, like, I want a show like this. While when I was in the TV days, I would watch it and see what else is on TV.
Yeah.
And if it's good, it might not be even related to the thing I just watched.
Yeah.
But I would give it a chance, and it would be awesome. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome too. I'm going to watch this too. I would watch many sort of different shows. But right now, okay, I watch Fear and Beyond Journey's End. What's a show more like Fear and Beyond Journey's End?
Well,
there's 10 shows, and there's a single like
the
that.
thing
okay,
is, I
I'll
don't
watch
even
those.
like, you don't even have to Google what's a show like this anymore. If you go on Netflix or on YouTube or any of these things, like recently I've been watching the Friday the 13th movies. And so I looked up something about one of them, about the making of it on YouTube. And for the last 3 weeks solid, every single day I'm getting recommendations about Friday the 13th, 2, 3, and 4. Which one had the best mask? You know, Halloween. It's just like, Jesus, this is just like, it's hooked onto what I watched once, and it's just showing me more of the same. So you never get to, you know, it's not even that I'm searching for it now. It's just giving me more of the same, always.
And even in the influencer media, David. So even in the influencer media, so one person would do something. Let's say he does a sketch show on YouTube, like back in 2010. He would say, okay, I'm going to do some serious short film, guys, and I'm going to put them on YouTube and see what you say. Audience would be like, yeah, we will watch it. Like, we like this creator. We want to see what he does with, like, in this different genre. But right now, YouTube will hate you because you are a sketch creator. Why did you turn into a horror creator? We didn't ask for you to do this. We will not recommend your videos.
Oh yeah, do you know, I hate that aspect too, because I can't help that I cannot just focus on one thing. Like, so everything always brings me back to improv. But it's like, oh, like I wanted to do like some video gaming stuff, and if I wanted to do like the horror stories that I've done and stuff like this, it's like you have to separate everything onto different channels, because otherwise the different things all fail. They all fail.
But it's kind of hard as well, because like so my recent example is that my channel got traction with Lion King sketches. So whenever I do Lion King, it works out. It gets at least to over 2,000 views. But then I try to do a new thing, and then bam, nothing. just like only like 400 of my audience cared enough to actually even check out what I did with this new thing, and only 24 people actually liked it, and only a few people commented. And YouTube is like, nah, we don't care, just to keep doing Lion King sketches.
Yeah, do you know, it was weird, because on TikTok, probably about 3 years ago now, I was doing like just shorts about geek theories and stuff. And every time I'd speak about Doctor Who, I'd be like, oh my god, this got 25,000 views. And I'll be like, I've got this great Marvel theory for you guys. And it'd be like 160 views. I'll be like, what happened? It's like, it's the same channel. Like, you know, the same people are following it. Why won't they show it? But it's, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, guys, is there anything you guys have seen or desperately want to chat about before we start to head home with things?
I'm happy to follow your lead, guys. It's been an interesting discussion that I've been enjoying.
Yeah, good. Well, it's been a pleasure to have you, Dave. So don't be a stranger in the future.
Sorry, Harry's upstage at any point, but but by the time we start stream tonight, I will find a light to actually make me like not look like I've turned to a shadow.
Okay, Dev, have you got any breaking news for us, or have you got any scoops for us? You're usually ahead of the game with these things.
Okay, let me quickly try to remember. Like the Street Fighter movie started filming. Everybody's now in Australia.
Yeah.
And Cody and Roman will be going back and forth with their thingy, with their duties about WWE and Street Fighter. But everybody else is like staying in Australia.
Wow. Just actually, hang on 1 second, guys. If you wanna talk about Geek Battle WWE crossover vibes, this is the first time the entire Geek Battle cast have been able to dip into the realm of WWE. But yeah, okay.
That's
so
what I was worried about. I was a bit worried earlier, actually, Dave, when we were explaining Red Dwarf to Cap, because it did feel like we were trying to explain the last 10 years of WWE to him again. That's what shocked me in the Slam Jam group chat earlier. You put that picture from NXT last night. I was like, that's the most current thing you've ever shared on that chat.
Was that the Devil's Kiss thing?
Yeah.
Well, that's just Cap's algorithm, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I know why. I know why he shared it, but I know why he was aware of it. But that's even so. Anyway.
Yeah.
Now I just catch up with wrestling through memes.
You catch up with everything through memes.
Wrestlers in films. That's a really interesting one.
Oh well, we can literally discuss that in a minute. But so Dev, do you have anything more on Street Fighter there?
Yeah, with the Street Fighter movie, they've gotten everyone in Australia now, and they've all started filming, and the plot points have like started coming out. I don't know if people want to like know about it or not.
Yeah, no, I don't care. Like, come on, it's Street Fighter. There's going to be a Wild Warrior. Maybe Bison's up to something.
They're gonna punch each other anyways. Just
there is no plot to Street Fighter.
Is Bison just gonna say, "Oh, for me it was a Tuesday"?
Basically,
I hope they put that in there just for
that would be good. I'd like that.
They probably will, because of who's playing him. They've got the guy from they've got Polka Dot Man playing Bison, so he seems like the guy.
Him?
Polka Dot Man.
Is that
Polka Dot Man from the Suicide Squad?
Okay, I was going to say that sounds suspiciously like the tag partner of Mr. Iguana. Mr. Iguana and Polka Dot Man. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah. So basically, Chun-Li is the one that's going to be recruiting every one of the like fighters to the tournament and like thinking about it. And recently, 50 Cent just posted what he's going to look like as Balrog on his social media. Have you guys seen it?
No, I have not.
Oh.
It should be on his Instagram if you can pull it up, David.
50. Yeah, because I'm always on 50 Cents Instagram, obviously. Right.
That's a strange thing.
Pull up something onto the screen. You can.
No, I know. I'm trying to look for it. So
That's a strange thing back in the old days of like when Street Fighter 2 first came out, and Bison, Balrog, and Vega all had their names were all with different characters. So like I think Balrog was Bison and Bison was Vega and Vega was
yes.
Balrog in the old original edition of the game.
Do you know why that was there, Dave?
I have no idea.
Mike Tyson. So basically,
of course it was.
Because of Mike Tyson, like gonna perhaps be a legal threat. M. Bison, Mike Tyson. Right. They were like, let's just swap them.
Yeah. Wait, what?
So 50 Cent.
Yes.
I'm on 50 Cent's Instagram. You'll have to point out to me which one of these relates to Balrog. Is that him? Jesus, that is good makeup. Right. No, but
is it on his stories, David?
You should have. Hold on.
Oh, that's it there, wasn't it?
Was it this?
Wasn't that?
It's the.
Go back up. Go back up. Up. It was in the green and the white shorts, wasn't it? Is that it? Green shorts there?
No. No, it's the one next to it.
This.
It's the one next to it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, like they've got his hair looks right, so yeah, good for him.
Oh yeah.
That's what he's going to look like as.
Jesus, that's going to give me an epileptic fit watching that.
So yeah, they've got everyone going in there now, and things are leaking about Doomsday. I don't know how accurate they are though.
In Avengers.
The MCU, yeah.
So
yeah, with Chris Evans being jacked in it again.
It's going to be what?
No, there's been photos of Chris Evans being his Captain America.
Yeah, being like
haircut.
He's like he's going to the gym again, so he looks huge.
Yeah, the gym. The gym.
Yeah, the Marvel gym with the Super Soldier Serum. The Marvel Super Soldier Serum.
Okay, so what have you heard about Doomsday, the plot or whatever?
Okay, so Doomsday is apparently a version of Captain America has called ends up being the reason that Doom's family dies. That's why he wants to travel the multiverse and kill the Captain Americas.
This sounds like the plot slightly different of Jet Li's The One.
Yeah, I knew it was gonna bring that up.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen it, that obviously Sliders. Dave, did you ever watch Sliders?
No.
Let me down. Right, okay, so Sliders is obviously like the GOAT of multiverse stories. But Jet Li's The One. Now, Sliders was a TV show, check it out. Right, but Jet Li's The One was where if you go from one dimension to another and you like kill the other version of yourself there, all of the other versions of you will get slightly stronger as the energy of that being, is then spread across the remaining versions. And so there's a bad guy version of Jet Li who's going across from multiverse to multiverse and killing all of the other Jet Lis until there is just two of him left. And like the one who doesn't know what's going on is like, I've been feeling a lot stronger recently. What's this?
Sliders.
That looks like it could be Sliders. But yeah, that is the best multiverse concept ever for the first 2 seasons. And after that, it went to dog shit because they just made it very low budget. But every idea is that they'd go to a parallel dimension and there was a different concept about what could be different about this world. And it's brilliant. It's genuinely so good. But so this Jet Li is like, it's like, I don't know why I've been feeling so much stronger recently. And then the bad one turns up and he's like, I need to kill you so that I am the only one. And then they have a battle across the multiverse. It's great. But yeah, okay, so let's very quickly, before we begin to wrap things up here, wrestlers in movies. We can, whatever angle you want to approach this from. Dave, you can give the first thought.
Well, I think we'll start with the recent one with John Cena, just because it's one of those things. I can't remember if we'd ever talked about it, but it's a terrible movie called Ricky Stenicki.
I never watched
I don't know
it.
if you watched it.
I love that movie. It was stupid.
No, I was going to say, Deb, it is stupid. Unfortunately, not in a funny, stupid way. In certain parts, there was some parts of it are terrible, and it has one of the laziest lead performances I've ever seen in any acting ever by your man Zac Efron, who was in it. He was literally just taking a payday. You could tell the contempt he had for this script in his performance. He was so lazy. The very opposite, though, of John Cena, who put every single bit of energy and charisma he could into this role, and he's actually very watchable in the movie.
He saves the movie.
I think he does that to every movie, Dave. Like, none of the movies that are in are actually good, but he's like, hey, I have to try.
Here's the interesting thing. I have not even seen The Marine. I wanted to.
No, I'm not.
I have the only John Cena films I have seen, one of which is Argyle, and he's basically not in it, so I wouldn't even count it as a John Cena movie. And then The Suicide Squad, which I hate with a passion. I don't think I have watched any other John Cena movie all the way through, or even as much as a reasonable amount of clips of it.
I enjoyed the one you did with Jackie Chan.
You with Jackie Chan?
Yeah, he made one with Jackie Chan, and then he made a lot of like Bodyguard of X type movies. So Alison Brie, Jackie Chan, like he was always like paired up with someone.
What was that one he just did with Idris Elba?
Yeah.
Oh, when he was the president of the United States, and Elba was prime minister.
Oh, do you know what? Like, trying to look at John Cena's credits, WWE just pisses all over it because Florida champion. I just want to see his acting credits.
To be fair, David, do you know I watched all of his movies, right?
Right. Okay, so hang on. Wikipedia, that would have just his acting credits, I think. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
They're all bad. Like, they're all bad, but they're their moments.
Okay, Deb. We can save John Cena. He was in a really good movie, and that was a really good movie, and he played the lead in it, and that movie was nominated for an Oscar.
What was that?
Ferdinand.
Oh, the Bull.
Yes, and that was a fucking good movie. It wasn't good enough to fight Coco, which was the last good Pixar thing that was ever made.
And as it turns out, it doesn't say. It says like music career, guest appearances, television, like film. Oh, John Cena filmography. Let's bring this up. So he was in Ready to Rumble, uncredited extra in Ready to Rumble. I have seen a John Cena movie then.
Oh, there we go then.
Yeah, so there we go. 12 rounds. Didn't watch that. No. Scooby Doo, Flintstones, Surfs Up to Wave Mania. Dad is Home too.
He was very funny in. He was very funny in a small role in Trainwreck. That was a good one.
Okay, I don't know that one at all.
I have to say I am a John Cena fan, but like Surfs Up 2 was such a fucking disappointment. Surfs Up 1 was so good. It's like one of the legit sports cartoon movies, and Surfs Up 2 decided, we're gonna have wrestling surfer penguins involved in this.
So hang on.
Sports film.
So in the Fast and Furious, isn't he meant to be Vin Diesel's brother?
Yes, he is.
But aren't they completely different ethnicities? Because
his mom's white.
John Cena.
His mom's white.
Adopted today.
Hang on, but John Cena genuinely looks like he could have been brought in as Paul Walker's character's brother. There is a likeness between the look of Paul Walker, who was the actor who passed away, and John Cena. I would believe that they just said he's his brother or he's his cousin. But then they brought him in, like in the film after he died, to play Vin Diesel's brother.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, fair enough.
They just looked at muscles. That's all it was.
Yeah, muscles.
They still have the same gym, so they go to the same gym. So
he is in Coyote vs. Acme as well.
Curly vasectomy?
No, Coyote vs. Acme.
Oh, okay. I heard curly vasectomy.
Vasectomy.
Oh, there we go. Oh, is that the film that they bought back the rights to?
Yes.
Wow. Hey, wait a minute. It says directed by Dave Green.
What?
What? Dave?
Dave?
David Green?
That's not my name anymore. I can't take credit on that one.
Oh my god,
No,
hang on. If this is you.
Green director out there.
Wait a minute, hang on. Oh, it's hard to tell without the beard. Try to adjust that shadow.
Hang on.
Oh my god, how pissed off are you? Like, you gave your name away, and he's jumped straight on it.
Thank you very much.
He has jumped straight on that.
My acting name until I got married has always been David Anthony Green. I always knew there was another Dave Green out there.
And this is.
Did you ever do that when you first got online and first had access to online? Did you ever just put your name in there with .com at the end to see what came up?
Yeah.
I put DaveGreen.com in there. It came up with a Chicago jazz trumpeter.
I'm looking this up right now.
Oh, probably isn't there anymore. I'm just saying, but that was the first time. First time I put it in there.
Oh shit, you're gonna be so gutted.
Oh,
I don't even know if I can bring this up. This is for that director because it came up with Wile E. Coyote.
Oh, okay.
So features, yeah, Coyote, but he has got your website now, Dave.
It's not my website.
Yeah, I know, but it's more fun to act as if it is. Right.
Speaking of weird directors, I watched. Okay, so what I did this weekend was I watched every Guy Ritchie movie.
Why?
Out of boredom. And,
Sorry, just what I did this weekend. I wasn't expecting you to say I watched every Guy Ritchie movie.
so out of boredom, and there's one outlier that doesn't make sense to me. Aladdin.
Yeah.
Hey?
Yep.
He made all these edgy, grungy British gangster movies, and then suddenly it's Aladdin.
Well, he directed Aladdin.
What, the Will Smith one?
Yes.
Wow.
And you have
what?
And everyone has the same surprise when they learn it's a Guy Ritchie movie. Everyone goes, huh?
Wait, so did you start with Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels?
Yeah, I did all of them in order.
Then Snatch?
Yes.
Wait, hang on. Wait. Oh no, I saw Swept Away. I thought that was going to be Flushed Away. That was Flushed Away, the Aardman one, wasn't it? Right, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that is random in the middle.
Wow, I did not know that.
Oh, but he did Sherlock. He did the Sherlock.
Yeah,
so...
1 and 2. Sherlock 1 and 2.
Yeah, so you could see from there how they could...
No, David. The Sherlock movie, it has the same dialogue structures of Snatch. You can tell it's a fucking Guy Ritchie film. Aladdin, you're like, what the heck?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
The dialogue in Sherlock is similar to every other movie he does.
Okay,
but Aladdin's off to the side.
Yeah, so guys, very quickly before we begin to wrap things up here, we didn't get past John Cena. Was there who is your favorite, or what is, because everyone's like, who's the best actor, wrestler turned actor, and everyone's like, well, it's Batista now. I'm not convinced. I think he's got a groundedness. I think he's got a groundedness that I like, which seems a bit more conversational. You could believe him whereas a lot of others are bigger personalities, but I don't necessarily think that means that he's better overall.
I think the Rock, before he became the Rock the actor, he was in Doom and he did The Mummy, and Scorpion King, to be honest, for me was his favorite film, because in that
his worst movie was your favorite.
Okay, but what I was going to ask, guys, is what one performance by a wrestler in a movie is the best? So not that this person overall, what one acting role by a wrestler in a movie is the best?
Rock, Scorpion King.
Cena, Ricky Snicky.
I've got with Cena, just my limited stuff. Although I say, Cody Rhodes' little bit in New Naked Gun was pretty good. I was surprised by
Guys, yeah, go on.
Someone who's going to be really good, a really good actor, and he's set for life because he's now he is really liked by Adam Sandler. So he's in Hollywood. He's going to have a career for life now.
Right, guys, right, look. Now, obviously, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but the fact.
Oh wait, David, you're gonna bring that bubblegum joke, aren't you?
Oh yes, because I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and they live with rowdy Roddy Piper. John
Yeah,
Carpenter movie. Brilliant
Yep.
film. It has
Awesome
to be.
film.
I think that has to be the best. Like, because if you didn't know he was a wrestler, I don't think you'd assume he was a wrestler. Now, I think that was originally another John Carpenter thing where he was like, oh, like, we should get Kurt Russell to do it. And Kurt Russell was like, I can't do it, whatever. And he put Roddy Piper in this movie. And he's adequate replacement for... I'm not like, oh, I wish Kurt Russell had done this. It's like, no,
it was fine.
great.
It's the same thing with The Mummy as well, because they wanted Kurt Russell to play Brendan Fraser, Rick O'Connell character. They just couldn't get him, so they went with Brendan Fraser, and it turned out to be the best.
Yeah.
What about Jesse Ventura in Predator?
Oh, yeah. Jesse Ventura in Predator and in Running Man, right?
Wait, I thought it's Von Damme. Oh, wait, no, okay. Jesse Ventura is the big guy. Sorry. I confused the Predator with the Jesse.
Oh, no. So, my favourite line from Predator of Jesse Ventura's, when the guy goes, hey, you're bleeding.
I don't got time to bleed.
Yeah, I ain't got time to bleed. Right? He's like, oh, okay.
Well, my favourite story from Predator and the making of it, and his little rivalry he had with Arnie Schwarzenegger.
I've told this as a geek pack, but go on.
Well, I'm going to tell you again for those who haven't. Is that he learned what Arnie's schedule was going to be in terms of getting to the gym and things like that for shooting days. So he purposely got there an hour early to do his workout and then leave as Arnie was arriving, so he could just look at Arnie and go, "Oh, you're just getting here."
Yeah.
To wind him up.
That is not the story I told Dave. So the story I told was, so apparently, because they had done a lot of fittings, right, when they're doing the movie,
I know this one.
and someone told Jesse that his biceps were bigger than Arnie's, and they did the best
Right,
of it.
yes.
And Jesse went around saying that I got the biggest bicep and you're Mr. Olympia. And then on one day said Arnold called him out for it, and they measure it, and obviously Arnold was a lot bigger. The reason for this is Arnold actually told the people who took the measurements to lie to Jesse Ventura to tell him that he has bigger biceps than me, so he'd be upped up by it, so he can humiliate him on set.
That's probably why it was. They wanted to get one up on each other all the time.
Yeah, like Jesse Ventura had a few acting roles. Like I feel like there's some things that I need to just look up that I've probably just never seen. Acting career. So these are the acting roles of Jesse the Body Ventura: Predator, Running Man, Thunderground. Oh my God, is he the lead in it? It looks like it, doesn't it? Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Is he No Holds Barred?
Sorry.
Oh, is it No Holds Barred? It's himself. Okay.
No, Demolition Man. I think he's just got like quite a small role in that, but yeah, Demolition Man.
He's one of the guys that
like one of the underground.
he gets
guys.
resurrected.
Right.
The ones that get resurrected from the
okay.
prison.
Batman and Robin.
Wow.
Wait, what did he? Wait, was he Bane?
No.
Prison God.
No,
the guy who played Bane was a WCW drummer.
Right, but the interesting thing is by 1997, you can just imagine Ventura was like, "Hey Arnold, what are you working on?" You know, it's just like desperate for that. Oh, I can get you a small role as an Arkham Asylum guard. You know.
This is the fun fact about the guy who played Bane in that one, Cap, is that he was a bit of a job guy and things like that. But his biggest role was in 1995, I want to say, in a big match. It was Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan versus 10 other men, including likes of Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Lex Luger, people like that. They're all this thing. And there was also a couple in there, guys, from this stable called the Dungeon of Doom. And one of them was the guy that played Bane. And his character name in this was The Ultimate Solution, which was changed when they originally wanted to call him The
Final Solution.
Right, not good.
Someone said to them, we can't call him that.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Let's call him Ultimate Solution.
No.
Wait, what?
We're not saying it on the
No stream.
Yeah.
I'll tell you off air.
No stream.
Okay, very quickly, since you mentioned the Dungeon of Doom, what was the best Hulk Hogan movie? Because it has to be Suburban Commando, right?
Suburban Commando, yes.
Yes,
say, yeah.
definitely. And that
Whichever one had the line where he makes the guy shit himself
Dookie.
Oh, I don't like that
sucks
line.
now.
I don't like that line.
I love that line considering there is a Japanese wrestler in Japan called Dookie. So
Wow.
that's what makes me laugh.
But what I loved was that the Undertaker was in that movie as well, and this was before he was the Undertaker, and obviously, that's probably like Hogan was like, "Get this guy in, brother," sort of thing.
Yeah, he's like,
But
I
just
discovered this guy. Like, no, you didn't.
When there's all this fighting, and then he just goes, "You're a dead man, Ramsey." He's like, "No wonder you guys never talk." I love that moment from that film. But
I'm surprised that Undertaker. I mean, like, I'm surprised that WWE hasn't made movies with the concept of the Undertaker. I know they did like.
Well, they did Kane.
Yeah,
they did.
I know
yeah,
that
you're
one.
right.
Yeah, why didn't they do some stuff with the Undertaker? Like,
Because the Kane was so bad, they never touched it again.
No, they did a
Good point.
sequel. They did a sequel to See No Evil.
Yeah.
Bullshit. What? Really?
Yeah.
Too.
Jacob Goodnight, even though they killed him in the first film, See No
back.
Evil 2. Jacob Goodnight. Look. They did a direct sequel, but it didn't come out. Let's have a look. So the first one, I forget what year it was, but the second one was 2014. But I think there was a good few years in between. So 2006 and then 2014.
I think some of the WWE characters are easily like doable to like movies and stuff. You can make a movie with the Boogeyman. These are like fun, not like big movies. You can make like kids kind of, fun horror stuff with them. I think it's doable.
I tell you what, after Undertaker's last match, where it was like the Boneyard match with AJ Styles, I was just like, Undertaker needs to be in movies. I said that at the time. I said, like, this felt like a Clint Eastwood revenge film. I was like, that's what Undertaker should do. And I genuinely think, well, I don't know. Like, I'm not digging this white Sting goatee.
Oh my god, that was terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah, like, he should make at least one film as just like the old timer, like Clint Eastwood in like Gran Torino or whatever, where he's just like this grizzled, like, I'm going to clean up this town once and for all and then get killed at the end kind of thing.
Here's an interesting question for you, David.
Yeah.
Would you like a Crow movie with Sting?
Do you know what? I don't really know the Crow that well. Probably not. Because Sting is too old now.
You been Sting the copy of Crow?
He is a copy of Crow. I think it was Scott Hall that said, like, hey, I've seen this movie, you should dress like it. And the rest is history.
Yeah, I saw this movie 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I only became aware of the WWC Sting of like when he did the joint promotion with the Undertaker DVD came out along with Sting's career DVD. That's when I realized, oh, Sting was like that. And I think, oh, this is cool. And he looks like Casey Jones with a baseball bat. It's gonna be like cool. And I googled. He's gonna have an awesome theme song to him. And I have to say, Sting's theme song sucks.
Sting's theme song sucks?
Yeah.
You don't mean his WCW one?
Yeah, when he did for the Crow one.
The guy from
No, okay. Sting's WCW Crow theme is one of the best themes.
He's not talking about Man Called Sting, I'm sure.
No, I don't mean that, but like do you remember when just before they brought Sting in to WWE, they like announced that he was going to be in the video game?
Yeah.
And they had that orchestra like playing with the violins and that. That should have been his theme. I was like, this is the best version of that theme I've ever heard. And then his WWE theme
I'm not talking
sucked.
about the violin one. I'm talking about just drums going and just like, yeah, and I was like, no rock and roll, goth music, cool heavy metal, anything.
Well, no, that was the thing. That was what suited the character at that point. It was.
He was like the Phantom of the Opera thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you watch the Starcade '97.
I mean, even the Undertaker's Phantom like thing is more cooler.
But
yeah.
Because you like Batman so much, you would have loved TNA's Joker Sting.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sting spent about 5 years. I can think of like the Joker in TNA.
It wasn't there 5 years, but it was doing that for a little bit, or just after that film had come out. Yeah, he was doing Joker Sting for a bit. Yeah, it was quite fun for a little bit, and then he thankfully stopped. So yeah, he knew when to stop.
Yeah,
Thanks
okay.
very
Are
much.
you still like? Yeah,
Okay, just before. No, go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
I was going to say, with MJF, he's going to have a very, 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 very good career in Hollywood because right now he's filming Violent Night 2.
Which one?
Violent Night 2.
Violent.
David
Violent.
Harbour.
Okay, I wonder what
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. The Santa
The-
Claus Ghost action movie.
John Wick Santa Claus movie with David Harbour.
Oh,
First one
okay.
was good.
Yeah,
Yeah. No. So
I
the
would
thing
say-
I just want to
I would
quickly.
say. Yeah, go.
Go on,
Just
David.
a quick note. I think my favorite of the John Wick's off franchises had to be Sisu. I think Zisu's a much more grittier, and I really enjoyed that one. Okay, go on, David.
Yeah, what I was going to say is that I wanted to pick up on Cap that you said that when you saw Sting, and were like, "Oh, he's based on Casey Jones," without picking up that Casey Jones is a rip-off of Jason Voorhees.
Nah, I don't know that.
You don't know? Wait, but you've seen the Friday the 13th, right?
Yeah.
Well, look, did you not see the connection between that they'd got the guy in the hockey mask? As like,
But Casey is a cool dude, while Jason is a mindless guy who just goes, Casey's like a cool rock punk guy who beats up criminals with a baseball bat.
Yeah, I'm with you, Kat. Casey over Jason.
what?
Yay!
Well, they should do this spin-off somewhere.
Speaking of Friday the 13th, Jason Voorhees and stuff, like horror movies and such, have you guys seen how they're promoting Freakier Friday 2?
Freakier Friday. Oh, wait. Freakier Friday 2? They're doing a sequel to that?
Sorry, Freaky Friday 2. Yeah.
Oh.
Freakier Friday.
Oh, wait. Okay, so, no, I've not. What was that film with, was it Seth Rogen in, where it was, like, based on Friday the 13th and Freaky Friday in one? Does anyone remember that film?
Is that Freaky Friday?
I think, it might be called that, but it's basic, or maybe it's just called Freak or Freakier or something like this. I'm going to find out what that film is, but anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, for some reason, they're really focusing on Jamie Lee Curtis's boobs to promote the movie.
She's like
Jamie Lee.
106 years old, though.
Doesn't matter.
But every promotion I've seen involves her for some reason.
Well,
Even in the official Disney Instagram, boobs.
Actually quite pathetic, isn't it? This is really
Yeah.
pathetic.
okay, so let me just.
God.
I am going to
I'm
have to.
Google David.
Right, I am going to have to. Was it called Freaks? No, this isn't it. I can't remember the name of the actor.
I thought for a moment you were
Oh,
looking for
here it is. It's called Freaky. It's called Freaky. It's a 2020 film.
Oh,
And
right, yeah.
It's so who is he? Oh, Vince Vaughn, not Seth Rogen, right? Vince Vaughn and this Catherine Newton. I don't know who she is, to be honest, right? They swap bodies. He was a serial killer.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
like Freaky Friday the 13th is basically the idea of the film.
I've seen the trailer, yeah.
I genuinely
Okay.
enjoyed this film. It can't decide if it's a comedy or a horror, but it's worth watching.
Can I just say, I was about to criticise the fact that that poster there has the actors' names on over the wrong actor. But now you said they're swapped around, I understand it now. Okay,
Yeah.
that's actually quite a well-conceived version of it. But as one of my pet peeves in movie things, when they have the wrong name in front of the wrong actor,
Why?
very annoying.
Why though, Dave?
Because it's really annoying. If you don't know who some people are,
But do you know
they go
why
the
they
other-
do that? So
because they don't think.
No. So if this is an example of it, but if it was, the idea would be Vince Vaughn has top billing, and she has second billing, but she appears first. It's a kind of way of balancing. It's like if you get like I forget what films, but like Face Off or things as an example might do this. Say you got John Travolta and Nick Cage. It would be like looking at the screen here, it'd be like John Travolta, Nick Cage. It's like, well, John Travolta's name is to the left, but Nick Cage's is higher. So it's meant to be, well, do you read his name first or his name first? And it's just, they often do this not to give top billing to one person or another.
Oh, the top billing bit is fine, but it's when you literally got like a picture. If you had a picture of Nick Cage and it said Vince Vaughn,
Yeah.
it,
No, I get it, because if you don't know who they are, now it's confusing. And then when you're on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and you're like, who played this role? You're like, that is Nick Cage, and it's like, brrr. Anyway.
I've got to bounce quickly, guys. I'll see you on Xstreamed at 9. And
likewise, guys. I need to wrap this up. So, Cap, give us your final thought, and we will wrap things here.
So, when you guys talk about like British television, like stuff, I would say, internationally speaking, like the only British television that I know of is like Blackadder, Mr. Bean, and The Thin Blue Line, and then was that the Young Dracula or something like that? And then some Merlin and some sort of fantasy show. But lately, this is like when I was a kid, but lately, all the stuff from like England on game shows or reality TV. So what happened?
Well, that's what I was trying to say earlier with the no funding going into scripted comedy earlier.
But these things are terrible.
Apparently for Cap, they only ever put funding into Rowan Atkinson previously. So
reality TV is the cheapest thing to produce.
Yeah. Right, see you soon, Dave. Pleasure. Yeah. Right, we're going to have to wrap things there. So, Dev, where can the people find you?
They can find me on TikTok and Twitch under the name FUUDAT. And my geek recommendation for this week is Nobody 2, the sequel to the Bob Odenkirk, John Wick ripoff.
Yep.
Okay. Cap.
So I gave the Nobody 2 a shot, but I got bored there. Sorry. I got bored.
Yeah, you get one of everything I send you.
No, I love the Dragon Ball Umbrage. That's like you shot up like way up there. Like only I kind of lost faith in you when you did the Cody Rhodes anime. That one I lost faith, but like you gained all your privileges back with like Umbrage. My recommendation is check out what is that anime? Bungo Stray Dog. I already said it, but I'm gonna say it again because David still hasn't watched it yet. Go check that out. But if you want more Halloweeny stuff, and again, I'm going to say this to David, and Dev probably seen it, Martin Mystery. It's the perfect season. Go watch Martin Mystery.
It's a spooky version of Totally Spies.
Yeah. And you can check me out on Swan Deeds, Wrestling at Ends, and Throw Myself in the Bucket, and I work with Puppet. There's like a Disney story about the Harrisons out, and there's also Lion King sketches out. Go watch whatever you wish. And yeah, you can see me here on Nibbles shows.
Okay, fantastic. Now, what I'm going to be watching is this, apparently. So, with this, there you go. Right, my name is David Psansky. You find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at David Psansky. More importantly, follow everything Geek Battle Gaming, and some other channels that I've got, Extreme Improv, etc. Now, let's have a quick look here. There was one other thing I would say. No, that's fine. Right, so, audience, do check out Extreme Improv in a few minutes. My geeky recommendation for this week is go see The Conjuring, the new one, because I'm going to be seeing it hopefully this weekend myself, and I don't want to be the only one that's seen it. So, until next time, stay safe, always stay extremed, live long and prosper. May the force be with you. Nanu, nanu, and boom, we're off the air.